Yes, in 2003, President George W. Bush was not the most likable guy in the country, with his invasion of Iraq that was not supported by the majority of the nation, leaving a sour taste in people's mouth. And his re-election chances were slim. Step Britney Spears to the rescue. The early 2000s were the heydays for the pop star, making her the most famous person in the nation at that time with the #1 song in the country. And in 2003, the Princess of Pop sat down for an interview with CNN's own Tucker Carlson.
Honestly, I think we should just trust our president in every decision that he makes, and we should just support that, and be faithful in what happens.
Do you trust this president?
Yes, I do.
Yes, Tucker Carlson used to work for CNN. This interview and the fact that Britney seemed to take over headlines every time a bad news concerning President Bush was published lead to some conspiracy theorists to wonder if Britney was acting in these provocative ways to give cover to the president. Taylor Swift is a modern-day Britney Spears, and she has an appeal for majority of the country who usually don't pay attention to politics. So if you are an unpopular president in an election year, getting the support of the biggest pop star in the world is a godsend. And this is what the supporters of the former president fear. In modern day, elections are determined by turnout of your base and not by convincing independent voters to vote for you. And with the majority of his own party's voters not liking him, it's me because of the economy and his foreign policy, and the student loan payment he promised them without delivering. The current president need to convince them to come out and vote for him again and not sit out the election. So what better way to do that than using famous celebrities? Celebrities have been supporters for Democrats and the left for a long time, and Taylor Swift herself has supported the current president during the previous election. So what the supporters of the former president accurately deduce is that if Swift actively campaigned for the current president, he would inevitably will win, seeing her previous track record of voter registration. And this is what terrified them and lead to conspiracy theories like this one.
Let's put this up on the screen. So he says, I wonder who's going to win the Super Bowl next month, because the Kansas City Chiefs are going to the Super Bowl, and that's the team that Taylor Swift's boyfriend, Travis Kelce, plays for. And I wonder if there's a major presidential endorsement coming from an artificially culturally propped up couple this fall. Just some wild speculation over here. Let's see how it ages over the next 8 months.
Though the conspiracy theories are ridiculous and false. And yes, George Soros, the largest donor to the Democratic Party, bought and owns most of Taylor Swift's masters. It does not mean there is conspiracy concerning Taylor Swift, Travis Kelce, and the Super Bowl. The Democrats don't need this much deviousness to convince Taylor's fans to vote for them, because Taylor Swift is a Hollywood celebrity, which means she is already a supporter of liberal Democrats, and most of her fans are young women, which skew considerably to the left. But even though their theories may be false, their worries are not without merit, because the best case scenario for them is for Taylor to stay out of politics and not endorse the incumbent, which might lead to a small turnout among young women, which would favor their candidate. The worst case scenario is for Taylor Swift to campaign for the incumbent and tell her hundreds of millions of followers to go out and vote for him, and in an election which will be determined by a few thousands of votes in 3 states. This will result in victory for the left. So depending on what she does on the coming months, Taylor Swift might determine who would be the leader of the free world. And by poking the bear, the supporters of the former president are bringing up on themselves what they fear the most. If you want to know how we end up in a world like this, where a billionaire pop star has such a power over a nation's politics, check this video out. And don't forget to subscribe.